Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Modeling Monday. I hope everyone is having a great start to the week today. Oh, it looks like I'm a little low. I want to raise me up. There we go. That's better. So today we already have some people lining up in the basement to show you the projects they're working on, and I am I was hoping to start putting together my project, but of course, people in the chat are reminding me that there's apparently there's more I should really paint before I put this thing together. Kind of leads me to, boy, I wish I had an airbrush, because now I'm thinking it'd be great to give a light dusting of red over the bricks before I put it all together, and lots of good things I probably would have done first. But anyway, let's see who's here and say hello to some people. We have Opa Dodge, Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider, helping me learn that it's an HO set and not a HO set. Ben got you Junction, Carl Broad, welcome along. Bill Voights, how you doing this evening? Brian Walter, any luck with that package, Brian? Digger Evans Model Railway, thanks for the reminder about the more painting that I have to do that I'm not set up to do. Mr. Dwight Curley, how you doing, sir? Inked Rails is in the house. Joey Butzek, bailing on N scale, switching to HO scale. Mr. Kyle Stevens, how you doing? Mark Centola, I think you're new to the channel, Mark. Welcome. Hope you're having a good time so far. Melvin Fackler's in the house. John from Mystic Southern Railway. Mike Rail Artist is here. Roy Eltham is in the house. John from Schuylkill River Valley. We also have Shane's Trains and Steve87 PSAP. If I missed you, say hello again. I'll try and catch you, but thanks all for being here. Brian, I'm sorry to hear about that package. All I can say is keep checking. I still have one package that I'm really hoping still shows up, but you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see if it gets there. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to click on. That's the one I wanted. Mark's new, everybody. Say hello to Mark. Check out his channel if he's got one. So before we bring up people, I'm just going to show a couple things. I got the Melbo's, the Terrain Tutor Terrain Essentials book. This is technically a book about making wargaming terrain. But even just initially flipping through it, I mean, you know, is that not exactly what we do? I don't know if you guys know the Terrain Tutor. I, learned who he was through YouTube, and he does a live stream where he, talks about and shows different techniques. But yeah, water, all just really cool things. So I'm very excited about this book. Just came in today. So I'm definitely going to be checking that out some more. And then the other thing is, I showed this on Friday. We looked at this a little bit, and somebody said, why don't you put in the trolley track? So I've now added the trolley track up here, so you can kind of see how the Z-scale layout is going to fit into the trolley track. And speaking about the trolley track, I know it's going backwards now, but I did swap out the caboose. Don't know how well that's showing up for people, but if you can't see, it says Canada on it. I thought the red coloring in the locomotive fit the Canada colors really well in that caboose, so we got a Canada caboose. Hey, Almar, welcome. Hey, Cameron from Caboose 121. Who else did I miss? Oh, looks like I got most people. So let's start. Yeah, Anthony Dodge says no difference in terrain and wargaming terrain making. It's all the same techniques, and that's so true. So let's bring up some of the victims for this evening. We've got Paul D. We've got Greg Midsummer Nights I'll let you say it later. We have Jason the Train Freak, and Z Fantasy Trains is here. Welcome, everybody.
Hi. Welcome from Australia.
How are things? Oh, it's late at... Oh, no, it's tomorrow morning for you.
Yes, it is. It's morning for me.
Awesome. I hope tomorrow is going well, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll find out. We'll find out sooner than later.
Yep.
Let's see. Dad Cooks, you are now popping up in the participants list. I see you now. Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision is here. Keith from C.A.P. Railroad is also in the house. New Haven Rail is popping in as well. I think I got almost everybody. So I don't think I see Dave right now. So why don't we start with Greg, and you can tell us, Greg, what you're working on tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm blaming Heath, but you can see I got me mug.
Nothing's going wrong tonight. Nothing's going wrong.
So what I'm doing is I've got some NeoPixels in my building, and today I'm going to program my Arduino so as I can make sure before I finish all it off that the NeoPixels are going to work. That's what I'm doing today.
That is probably a good plan. I built when I built my platform, I put some lighting in it, and I didn't bother turning on the lights before I put them in the platform, and luckily they worked. But
yeah, so
generally a good idea to test things before you glue them down.
Precisely. So nothing's glued down. It's just sitting all there waiting to go. So I thought I better get this going. So that's what I'm doing today.
I don't know if you see Digger's comments. I think he's referring you to a Shakespearean author.
Oh, is he? Oh, no.
Midsummer Night's Dream?
Night's Dream, yeah. No, mine's Midsummer, the murder mystery. So I have a murder mystery scene on the track.
Oh, gotcha. What? So Midsummer, is that an Australian murder mystery?
No, it's an English. No, it's English. So Midsummer Murders is an English series. It's about 21 episodes of it, and it's about murder in a place that doesn't exist. And every week there's 3 or 4 murders. You wouldn't want to ever live there. But so the reason why I did that is because then I can do whatever I like in the layout because the place doesn't exist.
That's really cool. I hadn't heard of that, so that's actually really interesting.
So yeah, I've got little cops and I've got some robbers and there's a murder scene.
Nice. We'll have to check that out one night. That's for sure.
When I get my computer in out in the garage, yeah.
Or at least we'll be taking some pictures.
Yeah. Well, I should. Yes. Yeah.
So Jason, people are wondering, or I should say Catnuts at least is wondering, are you eating something? What are you making over there?
I'm getting plastered.
So now that you've mixed the plaster and the time has started, why don't we interrupt you and you can tell us what you're working on tonight?
So I don't know if you can see back over here, that was a scene that I had plastered that stopped. And so now, since I'm coming around this part of the layout, I need to continue that heel. And so I'm just basically going to go ahead and flatten it off here, just to be kind of flat and open. But I will go ahead and get some plaster and kind of go along the edge of my backdrop because there is small gaps. So that's just to kind of hide the gaps up. And then after the plaster dries, I'll probably go with another coat of it on top of it to hide the aluminum screen that you can kind of see through it, and then I'll paint it.
So your mountains in the background, you've got an aluminum screen form for them, but you're not doing any form for what you're working on today?
Let me get a little closer. I'm gonna take the phone off, so if it shakes, I apologize.
So the plan is to keep Jason talking long enough that his plaster hardens just during this introduction. If people are wondering what's happening.
Well, I put in too much water, so I got to add more plaster to thicken it up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's not going to work. But you can see the aluminum screen there.
Oh, so that was just done tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can tell, but kind of right there in the middle, there's little pieces of aluminum screen poking up. So I'll have to go back and put another layer back on there. So
yep.
Aluminum screen.
Digger wants to know what aluminum is. Because in the UK they call it aluminium, so I think he's making a joke.
Yeah.
Carl is chiming in and saying there have been 581 deaths in Midsummer Murders so far.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That sounds rough.
It's a place you never want to be.
Yeah, apparently. Martin, I think he's either asking or he's wondering whether you're using oatmeal for your plaster.
Paris of plaster, or plaster of Paris. Yeah, plaster of Paris.
My life track says, I think I was able to do the Blame Heath challenge. Someone commented on my last video that I misspelled a word by putting an H in it. So I replied that I blame Heath for the extra H. Yeah, and Ian is right, man. Plaster's fun until you have to sand it and vacuum it up. That is definitely true. I'm gonna remove Dave just so we can make everyone a little bigger. But Z, what are you working on this this fine evening?
Well, I finished my first little house.
Nice
my-
with horses.
Yeah. So, well, to show you this, they're at the hitching post to show the scale. My camera's kind of blurry with that, but that kind of got done. So that's for the Rock Ridge. So that's
end
coming
scale,
along.
right?
Yeah, end scale, yes. And then in the other window, this other thing that I got going, this is what I'll actually work on tonight, is a mountain. It's a mountain for the Rock Ridge. So I got some things to do on it. So I got it all covered in foam. Now I gotta sculpt it out. So that's what I'm gonna work on. I decided that this needs to be flat instead of diagonal like that. So I'm gonna be changing that. So that's about it for right now.
So you're still sculpting the foam part of it then?
Yeah, I need to
Or
fix
will you
this
plaster
one.
it and then sculpt the plaster?
I'll spackle it. Yeah, I don't use plaster like that because I don't know. Like you say, the spackle washes off instead of having to sand it.
Yeah.
So I can just, if I want to smooth it or something or change it, I can just wash it off. And plaster is so heavy. I'm usually doing way more lightweight. So I made some plaster rocks and I'll be putting those on somewhere. But that's about the extent of my plaster work so far. The plans, yeah.
So Shane wants to know if everybody's getting plastered tonight.
At least something.
I need to address this comment just a little bit. So here's my 2 cents. I would recommend getting either a Sony A6100 or a Canon M52. And part of the reason is that you can use either of those also for streaming. But just in general, I would go with a mirrorless camera over a DSLR. Just the technology is... I just think it's the way to go these days. So that's my 2 cents for Deklinger. And if people have
I was just gonna say I would go for a video camera.
That's enough. Yes.
Because
I would either do mirrorless or a video camera. I would not, in this today, get a DSLR. But I will say, Tim says always go Nikon. I would say always go Canon, just because Canon does video a lot better than Nikon does, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. But yes, I'm actually using a Panasonic professional camera, and I find that it's for live streaming, it's much better.
Yeah.
If you're doing stills, that's fine. Definitely ordinary the camera. But if you're doing streaming, can't go past the size of the CMOS chip on a video camera.
Yeah, there are a lot of Canon people in here.
And I'm another one.
Yeah. Yeah, and a good reason to use video cameras too is that they're meant to be on for significant lengths of time.
Yep.
Where especially a DSLR is not made to just like record for hours at a time. It's made
Correct.
to do like a 5-minute shot and then stop, and then
Yeah.
do another 5-minute shot and then stop. Whereas a mirrorless is kind of in the middle of those two. But yeah, I mean, I started with photography many years ago, so I just have a ton of Canon lenses. So that's just
Well, that's fair enough. Well, see, this video camera I've done weddings with, and I've had my camera running 11 hours non-stop.
Yep.
So, it's the only thing, and I use it all the time for lots of things, but yeah. It's great for live streaming. It's good quality, nice wide lens to fit things in.
I'm getting in trouble because I'm not working on my painting. I'll do anything
Sorry,
to get out
you
of
go.
painting. Painting makes me nervous. I tell you, I don't, it's just kind of.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to program this Arduino, and that makes me nervous.
Yeah, well. Yeah, James mentioned he has a 5D Mark IV. This camera here was a 5D Mark II until about a week or so ago, and then it became a M50 Mark II. But yeah, I love the Canon 5D series in general.
5D.
Yeah, so 4K, not this camera that I stream with overhead, but the camera I record with overhead is a 4K, just so I can zoom in like Ian was talking about. He says define anything. I forget what I was talking about, so I don't know what I said. Yeah, James, the 5D Mark IV is amazing, but for most of us, unless you're really a photographer, I mean, I've been this 5D Mark II with a lens, I think was like $799, and it's just been fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. So people are giving me a hard time. So I'm gonna, before I get into what I'm doing anymore, Paula, what are you working on today?
Huh?
Huh?
You talking to
What are
me?
you working? What are you working? Oh, Dave. I don't know why I keep wanting to call you Paul. Dave, what are you working on tonight?
To start off, I'm working on making up some more of those braces for my walls.
Yep.
I made yesterday. So I'm gonna do that till I get those done. I'm quite happy though with the way they turned out. So these are the metal sections.
Nice. How many of those do you have to build total?
Well, two for the center. So I got the two center ones, and I got built two more for the outer.
That's not too bad.
No, because this runs from front to back.
Digger, yes, this is my very first live stream ever. Anthony says, I don't have $5,000 in computers, cameras, and phone combined. Anthony, I don't know that that's true. Because didn't you just swap out with a camera, or with a computer, and you've got
I'm
like
cutting more of
6
these.
cameras?
So I had a couple more of these.
Is that the NSWL chopper, or is that the
Yep.
Micromark?
The Northwest straight line.
I wonder if anyone's did a comparison between the two. I kind of really want to know if one is, I'm going to say the word stiffer, but, like when you're cutting, because I feel like when I'm cutting stuff, sometimes that blade wobbles a little bit.
I've noticed that too. That's why I've got, besides the, okay. Besides the chopper, then I also have the true sander.
Oh, okay. Yep.
It's got a little blocking. So I usually have to sand them. Even with this little small, I get a little bit deviation on them.
Nice.
So that's what I'm working on first, though. I've got,
James, get that camera out and start shooting videos.
I got all these to do up.
So you're gonna cut the angles in them on the chopper?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, Ian, that's the trick, right? Is every job you got to buy another tool so that they start adding up over time.
And then you start
Yeah.
running out of places to put your tools.
That is true.
Yep.
So, against my better judgment,
Uh-oh.
yeah, I know. The picture on the cover of the box shows the frames of the windows sort of being blue. And I kind of like the idea of like a reddish brick with a bluish frame. So I'm going
Okay.
to paint all of this blue and see how that goes. Because it's my railroad.
It is.
And it's your building.
What am I
Yep.
building?
I
And
said,
it's your-
and it's your building.
That is true. If it turns out really well, I'll sell it. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, though, what's probably going to happen to this is I'm probably going to end up having to give it away because it's like, where am I going to keep it?
True.
I'm always curious about this if someone has a trick for it. Along the center mullion, the paint always kind of pools up a little bit in the corners. And I'm wondering if there's a good way to get it to not sort of pool up in that spot.
It's a good question.
Good question.
Does that mean nobody's got any?
Not at this moment.
So yeah, that'd be a no.
I
Nobody
was
knows.
watching. Who was I watching? Anyway, he said just put a tiny bit on your paintbrush rather than a whole lot. So only ever put the paint on the tip and then
Yeah.
move it around.
I always try to do that when I start, and then it just keeps creeping up further and further and further.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, that's
Mike,
how
take
paintbrushes
care.
are made. They do that.
Rail artist Mike, I hope your wife feels better. Hope you have a good evening. Yeah, Digger says apply less paint. Deep Cleaner says run a paper towel through that spot.
Dip. It dip. Each time. So when you finish painting, you wash the brush, wipe it, and then just the tip, and then paint it on. That's what they were saying last night on the. I forget who it was. On one of the shows. Who was it? Sorry, I've got a mental block.
Last night?
I was watching it last night.
Oh,
Who was it? Oh, I can't think.
what did he
I'll
look
tell
like?
you. The guy with the beard who's on the model railway magazine.
Guy with the beard on the model railway magazine.
Yeah.
Until
Hang
you
on.
until you said magazine, I thought you were talking about Train Freak, but then
No,
Oh,
no,
that's-
not
that's
Train,
what I
not
was
Train
thinking
Freak.
of, like-
No,
if it was a good idea, no, it didn't come from him.
no, I'll tell you in 2 seconds. I'm just going to look him up.
Yeah, I don't have any good ideas.
Ron's Trains and Things.
Ron's Trains and Things. There you go.
He
Ron-
was
Ron's got a
painting.
beard
He was
now?
painting windows.
He's got a little
so
goatee.
He was painting the outline of the windows to make them stand out, and he was showing you all the techniques of how to do it. And I went, "Oh wow!"
Yeah, I did see that
remember that now.
video. I saw that video pop up. I didn't end up watching it, but I didn't know Ron grew a beard.
Oh, doesn't he have a beard?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I
Oh.
don't think so.
All right. Well, maybe he doesn't. Sorry.
And Sparky's
watched-
saying it's my railroad, but I don't think Steve Brown has a beard. He kind of has more of a goatee.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's because he don't have any hair.
yeah,
Who
it's
does?
all sort of slid down. But he just got a new job, so in theory, he's gonna be back posting some more videos.
Well, he just posted a video that says something. I quit.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is he got a
Oh.
new job that's closer to his house, I believe,
Oh,
and
well, from what I was told,
he was saying he should have some more time.
from what I was told, he was still posting videos, but it was more or less videos for his.
Only behind the paywall, yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing for
nothing for the general public.
correct.
I don't know. Ron's trains and things guy looks like he has a beard to me.
Oh,
He
really?
might be growing one.
So funny that none of us realized that.
No, I told you, but you don't listen to me.
Well, why start now?
What?
I
He
know.
listens?
Well, it's typical.
Hey, I'm the host of this show. I don't have to listen to my guests.
It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, my whole thing with painting is I definitely always seem to put way too much paint on. I just realized too, I'm painting this, and I'm painting. Let me bring this up big, and I can show people what I'm doing wrong, or at least they can tell me what I'm doing wrong. So what I just realized is that who's making a ton of noise?
That might be my phone vibrating.
Okay, Steve Childers, you've been muted. I'm painting I just realized the inside of it, but I've also been painting this outer edge. And I just realized that outer edge is what I'm going to glue into the other piece. So this outer edge, I should not be getting paint on because I'm just going to have to scrape it off when I go to glue the two pieces together.
Yep.
Yep.
Basically what I'm saying is don't do what I'm doing. Do it the right way.
Don't do what Steve does.
And that is Heath's lesson for the day. Don't do what
Tip
I'm
of the
doing. Tip of the day.
Don't be like Steve.
Exactly.
Hold on. Do you want me to give you an official tip?
Sure.
All right, there you go.
Pro tip: play a sound or something.
Yep, there's the tip of the day.
Oh, you just knocked a car over? See,
Yeah, a couple of them.
I was looking down. I thought it was going to be a vocal cue.
Well, have you not noticed that when Steve does his tip of the day videos, he's running a train and the car falls on its side because it took the
Yes.
switch too fast?
Yes, I know that's his. Yeah, he did that on the Blame Heath thing too. He
Yeah.
showed that opening clip.
The only downside about plaster is you got to sit and wait for it to dry.
Yep.
That's the only bad side about it. I'm still debating on what I want to do right here.
That's why you got to plan 2 or 3 things. It's like watercolor painting. You got to wait for them to dry, so you got to have 2 or 3 going.
So Warwick Road Andy wants to know what is the right way to paint all this, and I think the answer is an airbrush. I think that would be so much more helpful. But Graham,
Good evening.
how you doing?
Good, thank you.
I'm gonna make you big. Why don't you show us your progress on your button thingamajiggy? So this is too big of a brush. But tell people what's going on. I'm gonna switch to a smaller brush. I'm being told this is too big.
No worries. So basically, I've been using these 25 pin connectors to be able to connect between these and the NCE switch at the coders that I've got on my layout. I've just got the last few to wire up now. This point isn't actually installed at the minute. It's on the other board that I have sat right here. So I haven't laid these yet, so that's why they're not wired in yet. Plus, these connections here are going to fill up this plug, so this is going to have to actually go on another plug here.
So have you been testing everything as you go? Like, how do you know?
Yeah.
what's
Yeah,
working,
this is all currently working perfectly fine. These are actually quite complicated because it's a 3-way point in the middle with 2 points on the outside, and I want to be able to just press the button on the outside and it will switch all 3 tracks to straight. I want to be able to push this one here, so then it will just divert this one side and leave this one straight, and vice versa the other way around. So I've got all my little bits and pieces here written down. So
There you go. Wiring diagrams always help.
They do help massively.
So, Digger, is this brush better? This is like what an artist might paint with, though. I'm definitely not an
Correct,
artist.
yep.
Yeah, people are... Alright, I should keep painting before all of my paint dries.
Good idea.
I keep getting shouted at, Heath.
Now that I switched to a smaller brush, it takes longer to paint everything.
Probably does.
I'm not really a patient painter, I guess you could say. I almost feel like painting with this small little brush would be like painting the actual size building with a full-size roller. The Digger says, yes, Heath, much better. Mike from Wicked Insanity, can't wait to get paid so you can order some matchsticks and coffee stirrers. I don't know why that was such a hard word to say.
Don't know either.
Minnesota E&E did a nice video with plaster cloth. You just laid it out and sprayed it with a spray bottle instead of dipping it. Huh. Kind of interesting. I guess you just have to make sure you get the right amount of water on it, and that would work. So Warwick Road Andy, why don't you break that out and bottle along with us? Hello, Lee. Wow, NS 22,000 actually has trailers on tonight. That's rare these days. Tim, are you out rail fanning? So Inked Rails is asking what I'm using the building for. And what this is Walthers is doing a National Model Railroad Buildoff contest. And I'm just going to talk about the adult individual category. But you pay $100 and they... I'm trying to figure out who that is that's making all that racket.
It's not me.
I mean,
Not me.
Where's Z? So for $100, they basically sell you a bunch of Walthers stuff. And what this is it's only HO scale that they sell you. So I got the HO kits and I thought that I would put them together, and depending on how it comes out, I may or may not enter the Buildoff contest. So that's what this is for.
Either way, it will hone your skills.
Steve 87th PSAP
Yep.
says he's the one making a lot of noise.
No, another Steve, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm back.
Gotta watch out for them Steves.
Yep. My BRB sign.
I missed your
I had to
BRB
go
sign.
check and see how my modification worked, and it was perfect.
Good.
Is the
Yeah.
layout that goes on in the other room?
Yeah. So I set it on there, and it was exactly what I needed it to do, because I don't want to sculpt a whole bunch and then find out it doesn't work and I have to tear it all apart.
That would be model railroading. if you had
That
to
would
do
be,
that.
huh?
That would be Heath.
That'd be Heath.
Um,
No, Heath, to me, Heath represents, that was Heath what happened, where it was just perfect.
there you go.
I refuse to blame Heath for bad stuff. He's in charge of the good stuff.
There you go.
I blame
But
Heath for it all.
There we go. Yep, it's all his fault.
What
No
I
matter
do think is
what.
interesting is all step one on the directions is basically just glue this thing together. And I really feel like what I've learned, and I guess I started learning this last week, is that there are so many steps before you glue anything together that aren't even on this Walthers Cornerstone instructions at all.
Yeah. That's life.
Yeah.
It kind of is it. Okay, so now I don't know how to make this look like a mountain thing. So we got to figure that out.
I feel like that's the whole game, right? Is
Yep.
trying to translate what we're working on to something. Something that
It's my
looks
first
or
tunnel,
represents
though.
something. Oh, it's your first tunnel?
Yeah, it's kind of like, ooh, it's my first tunnel. Where it actually, I mean, I kind of have a tunnel on the other one back here, but it's open. So this is my first disappearing tunnel.
So I see. Oh, it's your first one that the train actually goes into?
Yeah,
Is that
well,
what you mean by
you can't
disappearing?
see it. It disappears all the way. The one in the back, the one behind me over here, it goes in the cavern. It goes underneath. But you'll be able to see it the whole time. We're going back to school, so I can take my train set back to school.
Oh yeah, when are you going back?
March 4th.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, they think we're all going to be well now, I guess. That's interesting how that just, oh, now we're all okay. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
We had a
without
plague,
getting
now we
too
don't.
much into that side of it.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing here. They're pushing to get a lot of things reopened.
It's okay. It's inevitable. It's good. It's good. It'll be good for everybody. Well, maybe not
Or it
everybody.
won't.
Yeah, or it won't.
Ian says the mountains are like puzzles. Just keep using different pieces and shapes, not right or wrong.
Well, I got to make it look like a monument, valley, mountain. So that's a little bit different.
You have a picture of the mountain that
Yes,
you're trying to emulate?
yeah, remember it's my rock ridge. So it's that desert scene. I mean, that's the theme. So it has to be like Monument Valley.
So are you trying to be as prototypical as possible? Is that
No. No, but I do want the ambiance. The desert monument ambiance.
Welcome, Frank. I don't understand Martin's comment, but he said Z put a black hole in her house. And Mike from Wicked Insanity said, Z, please be careful. I don't know
Like
what
there?
happened. Oh, Anthony's going for dinner. Wicked says he's out of plaster cloth. Yeah, that happens. Earlier,
careful.
Containers Man said you can never use too much water. I actually feel like with that plaster cloth, if you put too much water in, you basically just wash all the plaster off of it. I feel like you can use too much plaster, but maybe that's just me.
Let's see. Black hole.
That was a big sigh from someone.
Me.
Does that mean you got it working, Greg?
No, it means it's not working. Oh.
See, you've got the code up on your computer there.
Yeah, I have, and it's not working. I've got one working on my layout, but I don't know why this is not working.
Well, is there any Arduino experts here that could? Is it? Do you think it's the code, or do you think it's something with the?
Well, I could have wired it wrong, but what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to wire one and see if it works. So I've just pulled out another one, and I'm going to wire that first and see if it works.
It must be Z.
Exactly.
Squeaky glue gun.
See?
Sorry. That's why I mute all.
Hot glue gun.
Joey says
Squeaky
flour
glue
and
gun.
water and paper towels back in the day. It's like, yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, me too.
I remember when I was a kid, I didn't know any better. I wanted to make a volcano out of Sculptamold. But I didn't know that you were supposed to create a form and then put the Sculptamold over it. So we just kept buying more and more Sculptamold until we had a volcano the size that I wanted out of Sculptamold. That took a lot of Sculptamold.
I bet.
Oh, Sparky, if you're still here, let's make myself bigger. I've got a little Canadian caboose in the back. I guess James, that's for you too, right? James is also up in Canada town. You know, if Digger didn't yell at me, I'd still be using that big old brush. I guess.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about the little brush yet.
It's working on one.
So do you maybe have a bad LED?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So that's why I went back to basics. So I've got one that's flashing different colours.
Hey, Marty from M&M Short Lines is here. Keith, do you plan on getting an airbrush? Still can't decide whether I want an airbrush in the apartment. Well, I should say I want an airbrush in the apartment. Can't decide if I'm actually going to get an airbrush in the apartment.
Or if you should.
Or if I should. I just feel like an airbrush, things could go wrong very quickly. And then end up with paint everywhere. That just makes me nervous. So, yeah, I like the idea of it.
I think they've scared you, Heath. They're really not that hard.
No.
You've done way harder things already. You
Yeah.
just blow a little paint around. It's directional too. So you probably make more of a mess with a brush.
Probably. I'm actually always afraid that I'm going to knock the paint
Bottle.
over onto the ground.
Okay, let me ask you this. How are you with a rattle can?
Terrible. I always get paint runs everywhere.
Well, guess what? If you're terrible with the rattle can, you're not going to be terrible with an airbrush.
I'm not going to be, or I am going to be?
Not. Because it's much harder to use a rattle can than an airbrush.
Well, no, but I'm saying with a rattle can, I do terrible.
Right. Therefore, you're not going to do terrible with an airbrush.
I'm not so sure. I feel like that's that whole like correlation, causation, whatever discussion. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not so sure the two. Mark Santola says they're easier to control the paint. James says Sparky and him are neighbors. Yeah, Martin says, Heath, you need a spray booth, and that would definitely be the plan. If I got the airbrush, I would definitely get one of those little spray booth
A
things
box
as well.
will work.
Yeah, I guess what I'm really worried about are the fumes. And I know that's more a matter of what kind of paint I'm using. I'm just so used to the smell of aerosol that it just...
You don't get really good.
It's not aerosol. It's just that same paint you're using there. It's just pushed out in a little bit. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have a nice booth and air, like a filtering thing, but you don't. You can make one DIY pretty simple. Just run a fan. It's not. It's really not that.
Not that bad.
It's so much easier than a rattle can. It's ridiculous.
I think that it just sounds so funny to me to hear that it's easier.
Yeah, rattle cans are hard to control.
I'm going to try and, if I can find it, I'm going to bring up the one that I'm looking at. Who's making the ruckus?
Not me.
Not me.
Possibly might have been me.
Yeah, Mike says a cardboard box works as well.
I use a plastic tub, but I don't have a spray gun. But I have a plastic tub and I do stuff in there. So if I'm spraying, say, lacquer or hairspray, I use a tub.
Yeah, I mean, I will go out to the park and spray, and then I come back inside, and it still just smells just awful.
That's the different paint.
All right, here it is. Is that it? I don't think that's it. Oh, maybe this is it. Okay, so I'm going to try and share my screen if I can do it without...
Want something else?
Okay, share my screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. I know, I'm talking out loud. I can hear myself too. So this is the one that I'm thinking of getting. Because I think it would be good for the apartment.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oops. Well, I'm not
That's
used
cute. That'll work. Doesn't matter what you get.
As long as you get one.
The first one's going to be a beginner one anyway. So then you're either going to stick with that because it works, or you're going to want something fancier. And I don't know that it's going to be applicable to get something really fancy.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
You're going to be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I like too that it's so small because I don't have. That's the other thing with getting like a whole compressor and stuff is that I don't have the storage space either. Really, I mean,
Yeah,
even under my
that'll
desk,
fit on
I
your
don't have
desk.
the storage space. So like that, I feel like that's kind of a perfect size thing for me. Hello to Lowell Patton. Welcome. Oh, Joey. So Joey has that one. So you like that one, Joey. I was concerned that that compressor might not be, I don't know if powerful enough is the right word, but powerful enough. I'm glad to know somebody has it. That was definitely a thought of mine.
Yeah, I don't think you need a lot of power. If you do, I'm not sure what's going on with that. You must be either doing too big of jobs or you're pushing a lot of paint.
Well, I'm always pushing too much paint. That's pretty much a given. Airbrush is much easier than acrylic can. Spray into a box works fine. Dwayne says he's been using the same cheap Badger airbrush for 20 years. Yeah, and that's kind of like my thought was to go with that Iwata beginner set because I feel like it would last me a little longer than getting. I mean that set's pretty cheap on the Iwata website. It showed $250, but on like Amazon and stuff, I think it's like $180 or something like that. Which I feel like is a pretty good price to get a whole.
For what you
airbrush
get,
setup.
it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. If you can do if you don't have to buy anything else, that's good. That's a good price.
Yes, exactly.
You even get paint with that, so you're in good shape.
Yeah, see, Joey's saying it's not that powerful, but it works for small models. I mean, it's, most of the stuff, once I'm done this HO kit for this build, which this is all HO right now, most of my stuff's going to be N scale, so it's not like I'm going to need precision more than power, I would think.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at cleaning things, though, too. I don't know that I'm looking forward to having to clean it out.
If you're using acrylic, just make sure you put it in water, and then when you get to it, it'll be fine.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I think these are all, this is just, Vallejo model color, acrylic colors, You can blow up an inner tube, connect it to the airbrush, and use that. Oh, that is
Yep.
so interesting.
That's how simple it is. It's just simple.
Yeah, Dave is saying just throw everything in the spray booth. The spray booths I'm looking at are those like fold up ones. I don't know how much space is inside it when it's folded up, but that's it'd be interesting to see if I could get that Neo kit into the box when it's folded. People keep talking about spraying my curtains. I'm not sure. One, I don't have curtains. You have shades.
Semantics.
They are different. So we didn't want curtains because the theory being is that the curtains would kind of collect dust, whereas the shades, because they're not, like fabric, won't hold on to the dust, and they could be cleaned and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true.
Unless you got a big wind, you're not going to get a lot of overspray unless you point it at something. It doesn't, if you're just working like on your desk, I don't,
Well, I guess that's what I'm wondering too is, would I work on my desk or would I go over, like would I need to set something up over by the window? Because the window's completely on the other side of where I'm at right now. Digger, if I had a small drawer,
you can hang it from the underside of your desk.
Have I shown you under my desk yet? No, yeah, I know. I'm sure I'll find a space for it.
But you probably don't even need one. You just use a brush.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. And
Yeah. So unless you're going to do that a whole heck of a lot.
I mean, I guess the other thing too, though, is I want to get into craftsman kits, and I feel like with those you're using stain, right? So would you put stains
Same thing.
in airbrush, or would you
Same
just
thing.
put it in
Brush.
the same thing? So Z, you're saying same thing, put them in an airbrush, or same thing, just use a regular brush?
Well, you could choose to do either.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd love to learn to do craftsman kits. Did someone just fall out of their chair?
No.
That would be a yes because they didn't want to admit it.
So Digger says, Heath, it's as though you're finding reasons not to have an airbrush. Man, when I saw Rick do his video of his airbrush, it made me nervous. I guess
He
the
makes me
reality is
nervous about everything, so don't worry about it.
he's not even here.
That's Rick, though.
Yeah, he's way too dramatic.
Yeah.
I mean, we all start as beginners, I guess, right? I mean, like the first time I take it out too, I'm gonna have that experience. But once I get into it a little bit, I'm sure it'll be fun.
All right. So I'll tell you this, Heath. The first 2 items that I ever airbrushed were our STS cars from last year.
What? I thought you'd been airbrushing for a while.
No. Paint, unless you include a rattle can,
Yeah,
yes.
it's really cute, Dave.
Sleeve.
Oh,
I got
nice.
to
Look
go
at
get
that.
a paper towel.
Is that
That's cool.
brushed or airbrushed or what?
Neither.
Neither. Did it
Neither.
just come like that
Nope. It's painted.
with a sponge?
She said brushed. Brushed. Oh, it was
Nope.
sponged?
Sponged.
Sponge.
Yeah.
That's sponged.
I found for my ground covering when I'm putting down a, like an undercoat that I'm eventually going to put grass on and stuff like that, that using a sponge just gives such a great sort of look to that. And sidewalks too, I found using a sponge works really well.
Yep. This is all sponged.
That's really cool. So you put those on, those are like paper printed something, and then you sponge over them?
It's all wood.
Oh, it's wood? Okay. But did you paint the signs? How did you
The signs are printed.
print it?
Yep.
I don't know why I just repeat that every time you said it.
And the tar paper is just craft construction paper.
Yeah, Joey says those signs look great.
Mm-hmm.
Ian from Lehigh
they
says
do.
that building is great, looks fantastic. They really do look amazing. Are those scratch built or kits?
Kits.
Yeah, it's like, I look at stuff like that and it's like, that's where I want to get to at some point. And I know that I just have to go through all of this to like one day get there. It's just,
So now, this one here is my second craft kit I've ever built. This is number 3.
oh, really?
Yep.
Are you an artist or something though? I saw you do all those drawings when you were designing stuff, and it seems like you've got some training in something, and or you've been doing it for a while.
I wouldn't say I've been doing it. I'm not an artist.
Well, based on those structures, you're definitely an artist. I guess I meant, were you an artist outside of model railroading?
No. Outside of model railroad, I'm a photographer.
Ah, okay. Hobby or
Isn't
as a
photography a form of art?
Yeah, it is.
So if you're a photographer, then you're also an artist.
I guess.
Is that your hobby or your job, photography?
Hobby.
I still think it's legitimately, because the skill level, the photographies are more about placement and composition and color and lighting, but the draftsman skill that he's showing, that's developed differently a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's some impressive
Yeah,
skill
it's
there.
got some good draftsmanship going on there and craftsmanship.
I'm sorry, I'm not even looking. I'm over here trying not to get paint everywhere.
I need some more foam.
So Tyler, looks like you got a kid on your bench.
Oh,
Bulmer
mute.
HO. What kid is it?
Yeah, I was doing this. It was sent to me, so, and it's an old kit. Got it at a train show. It was in a bin, so I figured I'd look at it. It's missing a couple of the walls, so I can't really build it. But I'm using some of the parts to build. Like I got a piece of the roof cut out and maybe gonna build. I don't know, fooling around with it.
If you're just missing a wall, you could just get some styrene or something to build that. No,
Well, it's missing.
sort of
some other
recreate
parts.
it.
Like one of the roofs is missing, so. But yeah, I got something going on here. It comes with like these pieces. I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe like make a garden because it comes with like flowers and grass over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I built like a little place here. I still have to do some stuff to it.
Do a little kit
Have a whole-
patch thing.
Yeah, I got my new kit building stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, messing around with it.
Oh, welcome to the party.
Yeah, hope I didn't crash it.
Oh, all good.
Yep, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna be up to.
We're all just making mistakes together. That's all.
Well,
More than others.
Hadley is in the house. So, Greg, did you find out what was going on with that second LED, why it wasn't working? Do we think Greg didn't hear the question, or do we think he's talking to himself right now? Oh, doesn't even look like he's here right now.
Well, it looks like you're talking to yourself, man.
You know,
Oh, oh.
this whole streaming thing in general feels like you're just talking to yourself. I mean, that kind of...
Well, I am sat in a room on my own.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's like what I was telling, Rick and I think it was Rick and Ray that got on my pop-up stream the other day. It was one thing me trying to, talk to everybody in chat and nobody, there's no other
Sorry.
voice except mine. And then it's another thing, when Rick and Ray popped up, is like the conversation style changed.
Sorry, I was on mute, Keith.
So you were talking to yourself.
I was
Gus,
talking to myself. Can you see I've got two now?
let me make you a little bigger. 1 second. I'm still getting used to this Windows computer, and it's doing weird things every once in a while. Hey, look at that. 2 lights.
That's because it's a Windows.
But they're
Cool.
supposed to be flashing and they're not.
Hey, at least they're on, One step
Well,
at a time.
True.
So
there we
Gus,
Oh, look at that. They're flashing.
what did you
That's
do?
what they're supposed to do. There's a time thing in them, which I need to change probably, but you can see that they go
They're changing
through different
color.
colors. Yep, and they should flash.
Aw. I don't see him flashing.
No, they go. There's a whole series of ways they go
Oh.
through. They go through all the colours, and then at some point they'll start flashing again. I've used it in a disco in one of the buildings. Sounds funny, and my church, but yeah, there you go.
There
So
they
they
go.
start to flash, and then they'll flash different colours. It's a whole lot of random patterns.
Cool.
So I think I had
wants
a
everyone
dead
to
head.
Pete wants everyone to say hello to him.
Oh,
Feels
hello.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Heath.
Hello, Pete.
Hello.
Hi, Pete. Hey, Pete. Thanks for subscribing.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, if people in the chat aren't subscribed to anybody on panel or anywhere else in the chat, for that matter, definitely check them out.
Pete, you're creeping up on 1,000.
I'm getting closer. I don't know what I'm at right now, but I'm definitely
967, I think.
Oh,
oh,
wow.
that's sad. I was at 968 for a little while, so I'm going backwards now apparently.
I
Yeah,
actually
but,
hit 16, I think.
Put like a stone
Nice.
edge around.
Yeah, so Gus Hadley was saying I was starting at 8. I start at 6, and then Tom's Trains and Things is on at 8 o'clock. So we'll jump off before he gets on.
You say that like it's so early.
I'd say like what's early?
Oh, it's actually 12 for me.
Oh yeah, that's true. Are you a late night person though? Like I'm.
Yeah, well,
Fine.
I my new job doesn't finish till 11 o'clock at night now, so I'm not normally in the house till gone midnight. So.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, I've had morning jobs, but I am not a morning person.
No.
No, neither am I.
Yeah, same here.
Having to be on site at like 4:30 or something for a job. That's
I couldn't do that.
that's rough. But thanks, Pete. But yeah, let's support each other as much as we can. I just put up people's names on their pictures so you can see their channel names. I think it looks like
Thank you.
everyone except for Dave Pease has their name up there, but everyone knows Dave. So,
Who's Dave?
yeah, exactly. I don't know who.
Nobody knows me.
Never heard of the guy.
The only wrench I see right now is Ian from Lehigh. Does anyone want to help Ian and maybe post up some of the links for the people that are up here right now? Make
Well,
someone
that's
else
what I was
moderators.
making.
So where's the rest of our crew at, Heath?
Schuylkill River Valley was here for a little bit. He may still be here listening in the background. For all I know.
John is awesome when it comes to someone posting links.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is awesome at it.
Yeah, John's been really great. Yeah, Shane says at least public transportation isn't crowded at 4:30 in the morning.
No, that's true.
So here's one of my dumb Heath moments. I'm going to work. I'm riding my bike. Probably 3:30. I was opening a gym in the morning. I think opened at like 5. So maybe it was like 4. I'm riding past a nightclub, and all the young ladies are getting out of the club, and I was young myself at the time, and I'm checking out all the women in their outfits, and I run right into the back of a cab on my bicycle. That was a fun New York
Good
moment
one.
right there. Yeah.
Somebody should have caught that on camera and said blame Heath.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, when that was happening, it was a little bit before everyone had a camera in their pocket. So luckily, nobody caught that.
So you think?
So, well, as far as I know. Yes. See, we were joking that Rick Bailey is Rico Suave because he was all dressed up, and now Flying Crow's saying that I'm the suave one. John and
Thank you.
Ian are posting
John.
some links up. People
Thanks,
can
guys.
check out their channels. That'd be awesome.
Yep,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you. I posted one yesterday, so thank you. I know Heath's looked at it, and I thanks Heath.
Yeah, much appreciated. Getting some.
Shane swears he's seen that video. I am sure that somebody has done that more than just me. I am sure I am not the
There's
only one
movies
that's been
that
caught.
have that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They saw you and made a movie out of it.
I mean, that's fairly common.
So you want to hear another dumb story of me doing something similar?
We could hear them all day. It's always fun.
Would
I
take all day.
was in Amsterdam, and as a lot of people know, I'm really into circus stuff. And we had bought tickets to go see the circus, but we were early. So we were just kind of walking around and, hanging out. And then behind the circus tent, there was like a menagerie set up. And we were walking down the street, and here I am looking off to the side at this menagerie as I'm walking forward. Next thing I know, my head smacks into a light post, a metal light post, because I was looking off to the side, not paying attention to where I was going.
I bicycled into a mailbox before. That doesn't feel too good.
Heath, I have a friend who is a minister of religion, and he is the minister to the circuses here in Australia.
Oh, nice.
And he was saying the other day, or a little while ago, he's done the biggest funeral he ever did. He had to bury an elephant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
And he's done a lot of funerals because of COVID. But yes, that's what he did for about 25 years. Some of the well-known circuses here in Australia.
Yeah, when I worked for Big Apple Circus, they had a chaplain or a minister that would come around
Yep.
and stuff as well. He wouldn't travel with them because it wasn't a big enough show, but yeah, it's pretty common here as well. My life tracks, not Amsterdam, New York, Amsterdam in Holland. Yeah, if you're gonna be a pastor, that's a pretty cool place to do it.
It is, yeah. No, he had a ball doing it. So yeah.
Joey wants to know, is everything at the reception jumbo sized?
Yeah. Whoa. Must have been a dead lead because I've got them all working now.
There you go.
It's pretty detailed up building. It's getting there.
Yeah, it looks like what's that stuff called? Stucco. Like a stucco wall.
Yeah, stucco, yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Well, it was part of a big house, but it was missing pieces, so I'm making something of it.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So is anyone in the chat working on anything tonight?
No, they're paying attention to you.
Me? I don't know. I've been painting the same darn thing. I thought I was going to be putting windows in tonight. I didn't realize I'd be painting windows with this little tiny brush that's like just like 10 brush hairs. Hey, Randall Ellison. No container. Nobody's taking me down yet. For the most part, I've been behaving.
There we go.
And I think I'm just going to paint over that. I don't think I need a second coat.
Jason, I thought that was your hair hanging down in front of the camera.
That'd be my beard.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I got this toolkit, these sprue cutters and the hobby knife and tweezers that were in here. Oh my gosh. I give you these files.
Just wait. Before long, you'll have a whole collection of different sprue cutters and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was only $14 on Amazon, so I bought it.
Oh,
I
that's
bought
a good deal.
exactly the same bit. Comes with these.
Gotta find that. There we go.
So, Jason,
Yo.
may I ask the chat what we were talking about earlier?
Which part?
Well, if I say it out loud. Earlier today, we were discussing why do people like watching Jason's channel? Like, what is it that he offers? Because we were trying to come up with like a tagline or something like that for his channel. And I'm curious if people in the chat have any thoughts on like what are some of the things that Jason does on his channel, or what does he provide to the community that people like watching his videos? I mean, you're up
Jason,
to
you-
what? You're up to like 500 subs now?
Almost 550. Or no, I think I might be at 550.
Yeah, so obviously people like watching your stuff.
I don't know why.
Well, let's see. Maybe somebody in the chat will answer. I'm guessing we're gonna get a lot of jokesters, joke comments, but maybe we'll get one or two.
Hey, I'm good with that.
They're not there for Jason. They're for Jason's son.
Yes,
That's who.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Jason, if you check out Jason's Teespring store, he just put up some Little Freak merch. So
Yep, I actually got that put up today. So you can get some Freak Junior merchandise.
John Schuylkill River Valley says you're at 551.
Okay.
Sparky says home of the lick and stick decals.
See, there you go.
Dave from BNSF N Scale, down home attitude. I like that. We were talking a lot about kind of your Arkansas sort of thing, but I like the down home attitude. I like the way that's phrased. Steve 87 PSAP says just because Rick might show up.
That's awesome.
Almar says he's just real like the rest of us. Maybe you can say you're not Pinocchio.
Not Pinocchio?
Yeah, you're real. You're a real boy.
No. Yeah, I'm not wooden and my nose don't get bigger.
Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision says because he has fun and enjoys what he's doing.
That I do.
He says, not just Jason, but I watch all of you to try and find ideas. Yeah, that's true. That's one thing I like about the community is I get a lot
I
of
watch
ideas.
him because he got a certain type of car that I'm thrilled of.
There you go.
Tyler, do you want me to go grab it and show it off?
Yeah, show it off. Come on.
All right. I'm going to slide the camera back. Let me go grab it.
Containerman says human needs glasses. I am wearing glasses. By Life's Track says it's Jason's beard. What type of product does he use on that baby?
Well, before COVID, I was using just standard beard oil, but since I'll have to wear a neck gaiter, I don't want oil in my neck gaiter, so I don't use anything.
There you go.
All right, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, people in the chat were asking if it was going to be a Lackawanna car.
Yeah, Tyler talked me into it.
He says, I watch everyone also looking for any weaknesses I may exploit to destroy you all.
Well, we know Rick's weakness.
Barks a lot?
Rick is trees.
So is he earth or is he fire? I guess he's Earth and fire would be the problem, right?
Yeah, and he depends on water and air.
Joey says, "Oh, nice 40-footers are the best."
Yep, they are nice.
Well, I don't think Lackawanna, before it became Erie Lackawanna, had 50-footers.
No, they didn't.
So
People are complaining that I'm skipping their comments. In Container Man's case, I'm just ignoring him when he says I need new glasses. So I didn't miss the comment. In that case, I just ignored him. Because I have selective seeing. Selective seeing and selective hearing. What time is it? 7:23. So when I asked what people were working on at home, I didn't get any answers. Does that mean that nobody's working on any projects at home?
They're waiting
no,
for someone
that's
to take.
that's because everybody else is too focused on watching you make mistakes. So that way they can blame you for it.
I've literally been painting the same thing over and over again tonight, though. Because Digger made me use this little tiny brush. He didn't let me use. I would have used a big brush like you have there, Jason.
I mean, I got little
It's your
brushes
painting.
too.
You could use whatever brush you want.
Digger
One
was
thing
right.
I've learned about paintbrushes is do not go buy the cheap ones.
No, don't buy cheap ones. Not worth it.
It is crazy how expensive these little guys can be.
Oh, yeah.
Joey says he just ordered some pellet hoppers. It's not usually what he's into, but these days I'm trying to diversify. I'm not sure what a pellet hopper is.
Maybe a
had some of the-
covered. I would assume a covered hopper that transports plastic pellets.
Ah, there you go.
We talked about that last night, closer to the end of my thread, about the bottom hatches of a covered hopper. You know, the differences.
Yeah, the Lackawanna did have some good engineers, I'll say that. They built massive bridges, concrete, in 1911.
When we talk about Lackawanna, we're literally talking about the Lackawanna in New Jersey, right across from the city, right? Or was there another one as well?
There's two of their bridges in New Jersey. Well, one's on the border and one's in New Jersey.
Because I know the ferry, I think it's the Staten Island ferry, goes to the Lackawanna terminal, New Jersey or something like that.
The train terminal in Hoboken, New Jersey, is a Lackawanna station that they still use.
Oh, Steve is working on painting the feed store. There we go. Ian says a Picasso 1.5 angled sash is an awesome wall painting brush. Joey says a pellet hopper is a covered hopper with connections for vacuum hoses.
Yep.
Plastic pellets need a vacuum to flow well. There you go.
Let me go grab one. I'll show you what it looks like.
Randall's got one as well. So, Ian, Lackawanna ran New York City to Buffalo. Was it actually the city, though, or was it over in Jersey? Did they actually go around the city? Or did they actually go into the city? John
right.
Schuylkill River Valley's heading out.
Take care, John.
Good night, John.
Have a nice day, John.
All
Hi,
right,
John.
Right, John.
So this is the bottom of a standard grain hopper. So they will pull the chutes and it will empty the grain.
Yeah, I see lots of those.
Yeah, so this is a grain hopper. This is what Joey's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's got your pipe. Let me go to this one here. Your pipe right here, and they would connect. And I know my lighting's not real good, but they would connect the hose right here on each of the ends. And another good way to tell is the tops don't have the long hatches. They got the small hatches. Typically, your grain ones are going to have the long hatches, but not all of them. Some of them have the small hatches, such as this Kansas City Southern one, but most of your more modern grain hoppers will have the long hatches. So,
I think I'm gonna head out here. Have a great night, everyone. I gotta get.
all right, Tyler, take care, bud.
Yep. Have a good
Hi,
night.
Tyler. Thanks for coming.
Night, Tyler.
Tyler.
Thanks.
So I've got all my legs working.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Nice. Ooh, look at them. Pretty, pretty. Now I want to do lights on my layout, and I want to run one line to power them all with switches. Is that feasible?
I think so. I haven't got that far yet, but you can use a sorry, I'm going to use a computer term, but it's like a mux where you can have 16 channels and you can link them together. I haven't got into that yet, but I've just got separates, but sometimes you want to run separate things. So, yeah, I think you can do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to all the lighting stuff I'm sort of working on is going to be DCC controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get there one of these days.
Well, I'm slowly getting there.
So did you make your Greg? Did you make your DCC EX setup?
In the video, yeah, I set that all up. Bought the Arduino. So I have two working systems. My mate in Druin, which is some part of my old layout, and I've got another one that's a Mega, and I've got an Arduino for mine. I'm currently trying to convert my DC into DCC, although I've only got one DCC engine. But one track will be DCC and the other will be DC.
And that was just the last video that you did, right?
Yeah, the last video was you saw if you watched it all the way through, you would have seen one of my only DCC engine running just on the test track.
Greg, I'm trying to convince other people to go see your video.
Thank you. Well, it's simple. I did it because last week on Tom's, everybody was asking about it, and I spent 6 months trying to get DCC++ working, and it wouldn't work. So along came DCC++ EX, and it is simple as. So I thought I'd do a big tutorial and just show people how simple it is.
Yep. It's pretty awesome now that it's got the installer.
Oh, it's great. I think that's what some people still think that if you've done DCC++, you have to use an Arduino installer, whereas the new one just automatically, you can select what you want. It is so simple.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty awesome.
So, yeah, and that's my second one working, which is great. After blowing up a few and spending a lot of time trying to figure it all out. And Scott Capilano, he was the one who helped me through my Mega and changed some of the code to get my clone working. Whoa, there goes my cat. Basically, often the problem is the actual Arduinos, the clone ones are not always right. So that's what I say in the video. And if you use the genuines, it just works every time with EX.
Yeah, I know that the group is doing a lot of testing with different ones and stuff like
Yep.
that.
Yep. Yeah, well, as I said, I had this Mega, and it just I could get some of it to work, and it kept crashing. So, as I said, with Scott, he helped me through it and changed some of the programming, and we actually managed to get it working. So that one is down at my mate's, running 2 layouts of about, I don't know, 10. He's got two tracks that are DCC++ EX, and they're probably, I don't know, 10 meters by 8 meters wide, and he runs trains on that. So works very well. We've actually isolated it so that I think it has 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks on it, but no block detection. We've just isolated it to start with. But it's brilliant. It makes it so easy. And we can use our phones to run the trains with, or we can use a computer.
Yeah, I'm still not completely convinced about phones. I think they're,
Oh, it's brilliant. I'm serious, Heath. It's stunning to use your phone, train driver. It is just really easy.
Are you using the same phone that you're going to get like phone calls on?
Yeah.
See, I'd be afraid that I would get a phone call while a train's moving, and then
True,
not be able to
but-
stop the train.
No, you
No, it
just
won't stop
change. Yeah, you just change screens and answer the phone. I mean, worst case scenario, you can get an old phone and just have that running it. But to use your phone is really good. It's no extra cost. You don't have to pay for a controller. So if you're on a tight budget, then that's the best way to go.
Yep, you just got to have a JMRI. What is it? Y throttle running.
Y throttle
Well,
server.
no. If you've got a Mega, you can actually put on a Mega a Wi-Fi module. Like a $5. No, they're a bit more than that, about $10 module, and you can actually go Wi-Fi on that, and then pick it up from Wi-Fi. So you don't
okay.
actually need a computer. That's the beauty of EX. Or the other thing is you can just use a web browser. You don't have to use JMRI. However, using a web browser, you don't have a lot of programming, but you don't need the JMRI.
So it's basically another option.
Yeah.
Similar.
Similar. Well, it's a little bit more refined, I guess. It's got it's a lot more features. So being able to put a Wi-Fi on an Arduino Mega, it has to be a Mega. I don't think you can do it on a Uno, but a Mega to put I have had that working, and we've got Wi-Fi. And he's got a garage which is tin. And so we've put out an extra point in there, an extension, and we had it on Wi-Fi, and that's how we do it. It's really simple.
Okay.
And brilliant. It's so cheap. It works well, and he and I think it's great to be able to sit there and control our trains by our phone. It's magic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have Y throttle and stuff, and I'm running the Y throttle server on the JMRI setup that I have.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I have run it off my phone, but I still just like having a dedicated throttle. I think there's something. I like the button layouts of it. Like I can adjust the speed without having to look at the throttle.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
and that's...
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Look, it's personal preference, Heath.
No.
To be honest,
I'm just telling you my personal preference. I kind of like what ESU did, where they took an Android phone and they made a dial for it, basically.
Yes. I've seen that one. Yeah.
So it's like you had a dial and you had both options kind of thing. You had the touch screen, the advantages of the touch screen, and you still had the tactile button as well.
Yep. Well, you can even make up a small, Jiffy, well, not Jiffy box, utility box, and you can put a little Arduino and that with Wi-Fi on it and a control. So there's no reason why you can't go to that extreme. I have seen that done before. Haven't done it myself, but it's one of those things where you can totally remote control. This one I saw had switches, so he could change his points remotely and do everything. There's no reason why you can't go that way.
Well, and that's the one reason that I definitely want to use like an iPad for would be to set up a like a track plan with the turnouts and use the iPad to switch the turnouts instead of having to dial them all in by number each time.
Correct. Yeah. I think Jimmy DYI did a multiple Kato switch on an Arduino just recently.
You can use Panel Pro with
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Arthur Houston 3, he runs the Oma, Louisiana Model Railroad Club. He uses a tablet to throw all the turnouts on their layout.
Great. So yeah, it's all possible.
Yeah, somebody was asking earlier. I think it's Shane's Trains was asking. We're gonna end before Tom starts, so we'll post the. Hopefully, if someone's still here that can post links, we'll post the link in the chat on the way out the door, so people can head over to Tom's when he starts.
Yep, he should. About 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, about that.
Yep. So
Yeah,
look at that.
I'll have to miss out on Tom's, unfortunately. Yeah, Freak Jr.'s got a doctor's appointment at 7 o'clock, telemed, so I gotta sit in on that.
I gotta say that's kind of liking the telemed stuff for a lot of different appointments.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but I'm pretty well pleased.
I'll make you bigger. You can,
Yes,
you
don't
can
make
share
it
what
bigger.
you've been working on. Oh,
Yeah, I got it. I got the base coat all painted. So next time I paint it, I'll actually mix in the flock and stuff. But I won't do that until I get the kit. I'm going to have a Walthers kit for the stockyards here. And what's going to be fun is I'm going to have to kit bash it because I don't have enough space to make it all fit. I've got enough width, I just don't have enough depth.
So are you going to build it and then cut a piece off, or are you going to try and adjust it as you go?
So the way the stockyards work, you've got, your ramps that go to each stock car. I'm going to turn the camera so that way you can probably see better. Okay. So you got the ramps that go to each stock car, but they'll be on this side back here. And between those ramps, you have a holding pin, and then you'll have another one off to the side. And then they'll have, like a, I don't know what you call it. I'm just saying it's a walkway with another set of holding pins afterwards. So that way they can round up all the cattle, move it into one holding pin, and then when the stock car comes, all they have to do is open gates, and the cattle cars will run from their holding pin, through the runway to the ramp up into the stock car. Well, I got enough room for the ramps and the holding pins that are closest to the stock car, and I might have enough room for the runway, but I do not have enough room for the holding pins on the other side of it. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is not using the back holding pins and just only have two holding pins and then just make it like an open pasture. That's the only other thing I know to do.
There are pictures or references for that you can kind of see. And Containerman 68 says that he just saw a blood red-faced SP.
Blood red-faced SP? Oh, yeah, he's talking about my Alco PA.
Is he saying he saw one out in the wild, or is he saying he saw yours in that back corner?
Oh, did he see a bloody nose out in the wild? I don't know. I know there's still a few around that are patched. They're UP patched. That I do. I did end up moving my magnet. I moved it closer to the two cars. I had the magnet way. Let me angle the camera. The magnet was way back here. I did go ahead and move it up here.
Joey says the only thing he won't model on a railroad is livestock. That's too funny. So, Dave, you want to show us how far you got with your cutting? I think it's kind of funny. Like, I've been painting these for like an hour and 15 minutes or something. It's kind of like you have to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like it takes a long time. It definitely takes a long time. So Greg got his LEDs working.
Yep.
I got my windows and doors painted blue. Let's see, how's Z doing? It looks like she's carving.
I'm getting there.
You get where you wanted to get?
Yeah, I'm getting there. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Do you think one of the hey John Arthur, welcome. I do think
Hey,
one
John.
of the things with modeling that we have
Hey,
to
John.
sort of get used to is that things do take a long time. You know?
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not, you see these Walther Cornerstone kits and you're kind of like, oh, like I can glue that up in a day. And it's like,
Yeah, right.
You could glue it up in a day, but
That's all you did.
you can't really do it right. You can't really like paint it and do all that stuff. So.
Oh no. Yeah. There's no way, especially when you're doing like a bigger kit, like a roundhouse. You know, because I've got like a 6-bay, which is actually 2 kits, and I mean, just imagine how long that takes. Somebody make a noise.
That was my wife going out the front door.
Ah. All right, I'm gonna mute myself because I gotta bang on this paint can.
Sorry about that. I had to go wash my paint thing out, and I ended up with paint all over my hands, and I couldn't touch anything. I'm back now. Graham, how'd your night go? I see are you back there actually playing with trains?
No, it's not working how I wanted it to. So I don't know why. It's all wired up and that, and all the points, all the switches are wired up to the decoders. The switches aren't working as they should be. Not sure why. So I'm gonna have to have a look at that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm assuming you'll use like some sort of continuity tester or something to kind of check each. Yep, there you go. I love. It's a fluke too, right?
It's a copy.
Yeah, I bought this, like we were talking about earlier. I needed this for a job way back when. But yeah,
I've got 2 or 3 actually. I've got this one, and I've got a couple of big ones that do like. I've got one that does like up to 1,000 volts. And
yeah, that one will do like 1,000 volts, and I've got a 400 amp lamp for it, and all kinds of stuff like that. Because I used to do some electrical stuff.
I used to do a lot of electric.
Caboose 121 took me most of Jason's stream last night to get 20 trees shaped. Still have to paint flock.
I think my girlfriend's just whacked the heating on.
John Arthur says, I spent close to 2 months building that American hardware supply kit into a brewery. Take your time for sure.
Yeah, he did a very good job on it too.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, I could have sat here by myself and painted all this, but I hate to say it. It's definitely more motivational to have other people working along together.
You're right. It does help, Heath. It's great to have other people who can actually motivate. My mate, he sometimes gets really down, and I motivate him to do his layout, and he motivates me. And I love this because we all share the same thing, and we can motivate each other. It's great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I love watching Z2 just sort of going at that mountain.
Yeah.
I can't wait to start doing landscaping. I'm fed up with doing wiring now.
Well, I do a bit at a time. That's the only way.
I mean, you could take a little bit of a break maybe from the wiring.
There's no point me trying to start the scenics until I've got the rest of the track laid, and I can't do the rest of the track until I've got the wiring sorted. It's just roundabout.
Yeah. Look, I know the feeling. My layout, I wasn't able to do until I got enough track because I'm running an N scale moving bus. And every time I got and I can only buy small pieces, and every time I got another piece, I'd put it in and find that the track wouldn't work, so I'd have to redo all the track again. So, yeah, I understand.
John Arthur said when the cat first showed up in the shot, he thought someone was making a teddy bear fur field. And then it moved. Inked Rails is kit bashing 2 modern concrete warehouses for...
Oh,
Inked Rails says, I will be kit bashing 2 modern concrete warehouses for my John Deere complex. Joey, I heard teddy bear fur is a good option. Won't have a layout with a place to try it on, though. Next one is urban. Wait, teddy bear fur? What are we talking about using teddy bear fur for?
you need to follow John
grass.
Arthur. John Arthur did a heck of a job on a field out of teddy bear fur.
Usually use it for like straw fields.
Oh, interesting. That sounds cool.
We used it on our club layout.
Oh, nice. Robert from Flying Crow says he's detailing an F unit this evening. I'm going to
Nice.
assume that's in KCS colors. Well, I'm going to start wrapping this up because it looks like a lot of us are finishing up and winding down our projects. Anyone got anything they want to share before I start dropping people out and run the end credits?
Yeah, I got one thing. Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to try to go live at a train show in Northwest Arkansas.
Ah,
So don't know what to expect. I've never been to this one before, so it's going to be new for me.
can we PayPal you money to buy things while you're there?
Like the roving reporter.
Sure.
Exactly. If we see something good.
Until my cash runs out.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm hoping for some cars that I need, for my layout customers. So I don't have enough supply for their demand.
Container Man wants to know what town this is in.
It is Bentonville, Arkansas, which is very, very far northwest.
Maybe Container Man will see you there.
So
John 2618 dropping in. We're just sort of wrapping up, John. Just sort of saying our last thoughts. But thanks for dropping in. After this, we're definitely all gonna head over to Tom's Trains and Things. I should probably try and find his link somewhere. Post that. Anyone else got anything before I drop you out of here?
Nope.
Thanks for letting us play.
Absolutely, anytime. I am gonna. Sorry, I'm like,
Bye,
special
everybody. Thanks for
presentation.
watching.
Tom's Trains and Things. Tonight is the 20,000 giveaway. 3 lucky
Oh.
people. Oh, now sounds exciting.
Certainly does.
I might have to lurk in the background then.
Yeah. Well, especially if there's a chance you might win something.
Well, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
everything you had to email him, so.
You didn't do the email?
No, I did do the email. I think you had to email to be entered.
Yes. Yes, you
Yep.
did have to email them to get in. Yeah. It's not a
I just-
giveaway where you enter live. It is a
Yeah, till last Monday.
Well, everybody, I'm going to start dropping you guys down. Thank you all for being here so much. Definitely
Thanks for having us.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
And
Heath.
we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Don't forget Northlands is on March 13th if you're in the area. And
It's a bit
that's
far
kinda-
from me.
that's all we. It's too far for you, Graham. Thanks everyone for coming. Really appreciate it. And I will see you all over in Tom's in a little bit. Until then, please check out my sponsors and just take a look at how you can support the channel. And thank you for being